Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have something that we've talked about before. Crypto debit card. Bankus is the name. We got a new card. They've changed things slightly. I like the new branding. I have both cards. My other card did work. I don't know if we can have two cards in the back office. I haven't checked that. I just activated the new card a few days ago. But there's also a chance for money making. But the bottom line to the story is the stock market, financial freedom, crypto, Visa, debit card means freedom when the crypto is not part of the ecosystem of the United States of America. And being able to make money from referring other people. The link is down below in the description box. I'm going to hold you guys real quick for a second before I give you the link. But just remember, financial freedom talk is here. And it's never too late. Today, we had Clive Davis, 94 years old, passed away. We also had Greenspan, who used to run the Fed. He was the chairman at one time, Alan Greenspan. He was 100 years old. So, ladies and gentlemen, age is just a number, and some of you are thinking it's too late to invest. It's not. So, welcome to the SSN Nation Financial and Money Making live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you so much for being here. This week is going to be a trying week for me. My aunt's funeral is on Friday. So that means family's here. That means we're discussing family things, and good and bad, but mostly good. So therefore, a little stressful, a little somber, but all in all good. So just letting you know, I don't know if Wednesday, I won't be on Wednesday unless I do something either early or late. But if anything happens on Wednesday, it might be late night. Late Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. I also want to point out July 1st, 2026, the preeminent lawyer in all of Dominican Republic, Johan Confidante, will be here in the Ask Johan live stream. That's right. If you're thinking about investing in Dominican Republic in anywhere, or Punta Cana, or Santo Domingo, or Puerto Plata, it does not matter. He's still the guy that knows what's going on in the Dominican Republic, because you remember he's a lawyer. Clients have to come to him to purchase things. He has to go check them out for his clients. So therefore, he has the pulse of the situation. And where else can you get free information from a lawyer who's going to answer all the questions as usual? We've been on like a 2-year hiatus, but he's back. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and by the way, full disclosure, he's my attorney as well. So I just got to tell you. All right. But he's coming back, full disclosure, so you guys can ask questions July 1st. I'm believing it's going to be 7:50 p.m. So mark your calendars Eastern time. 7:50 p.m. Eastern time. Mark your calendars today. I have not confirmed it, but it's going to be July 1st for sure. And I said, might as well make it 7:50 p.m. Eastern time, because that's 8:50 p.m. DR time. So there you go. Get ready. You want to invest in the Dominican Republic? This is the man that you want to talk to. And also, this is the man you may want to hire. So just let's get started here in a second. Looks like we have someone in the house tonight, an investor in the Dominican Republic. The man has went crazy. He's retired. He said, you know what? One spot's not enough for me in the DR. I'm going for number two. But he's going for upscale luxury. And he's part of the SSN Nation with that icon next to his name, which means he's a member of the channel, which I humbly appreciate. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, post-retirement travel. He brings his tagline, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite succinct and simple. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do here. We try to get you, the OCs, the ordinary citizens, to understand that you have to be making money while you sleep in order to survive down the road. The road is still paved with glitter, but you need to pick up a few pieces of those silver and gold and dollars and stocks and everything you can do, because that's how you build wealth along the way. You can't keep stepping over pennies. You better start picking them up and making them add up. Because once again, we're in it for the long haul. In case you missed the intro, Alan Greenspan, 100. Clive Davis, 94. Some people think when they're 70 years old, it's too late to invest. It's too late to start a new career. It's too late. Well, in this day and age, ladies and gentlemen, it's never too late, because social media is here. Your knowledge, your information that you carry with you, that is very valuable experience. You can write books, memoirs. You can do anything, but you know what we got to do out here. You got to get your IP, intellectual properties. You're going to have to get down with business. There's no longer where you can just meander along and hope that the price of goods and services don't go up. There's a guarantee they are going to go up. It just matters of how much. And that's what the market can bear. So once again, this is the time you're going to have to learn. Now, let's get into the crypto card, shall we? Here's the new one, ladies and gentlemen. Bankus. That's right. I like this one. It's clean. And it just has their logo. Versus the older one. And again, I haven't tried it. Both of these might work. Notice this one's MasterCard. That's right. They have MasterCard and Visa. But this is the new one they sent me. So I'm assuming it's a replacement because they didn't charge me. So anyhow, these cost $50 if you want a plastic one. Tap feature. And if you want a metal one, that's $100. But here's the thing. I have a link down below in the description box, in the chat box, for Bankus. And every Tuesday at 2 p.m. and 8 p.m., Bankus, a group of Bankus members, one is supposed to be like a global ambassador for Bankus. He's part of it. 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays. You can ask questions. You don't have to hear it from me. The only thing is, the link down below is actually a referral link. So you can actually make money by referring people. Lots of people are doing that. Oh my God. Ever since they came out with this new design, there's people in the Zoom calls, chat rooms all over, all excited because there was maintenance for 9 months where you couldn't activate your cards. No longer maintenance. Everybody can activate the cards. It's worldwide. It's going down. People over in Africa who doesn't see this. People over in South America who doesn't see this. People over in Asia who doesn't see this. Where there's the unbanked crypto referral, get crypto added, and anybody that has Bankus, we can send each other money and they don't charge us any fees, and it's there within a mere minute. So this is why your family and friends might want to have a Bankus account. If people travel or people go around the world, you can always use crypto and send some money to them. All right? In case of need. So it's also a good thing to keep in your pockets. Now, refer other people, check, make some money. Every time those people upload money, check, make some money. There's some people that have signed up over 100 people. Can you believe this? And so there's tiers. There's like 3 tiers. So yes, I'm not going to talk about network marketing or multi-marketing or marketing, period. I'm just letting you know. Go and you download. It's free. You too will have a link. It's that simple. Now, if you want to buy the card, they have digital cards as well. So again, there's opportunities for everybody. There's digital cards. Just saying, maybe you don't want to order this nice, beautiful sky blue card. Maybe you just want to go hang out and sign up and refer other people and make some money to where then you can go buy a card. That's one way you can do it. All right, here we go. Great. I am asking the lawyer this. If a DR builder finishes your specific apartment, but an amenity, gym, or pool isn't 100% complete, maybe 90% complete, are you required to close? That's a very good question. We've never asked that particular question. I don't know the answer to it, so Johan Confidante will be able to answer this one because that's very, very interesting. You know what the problem, though, is post-retirement travel? We have a lot of people over the last 6 years. The project was half-assed completed, and people still decided to move in anyhow. And then when they got the HOA bills, they started bitching because there were no amenities, but they were paying HOA bills just like there were. So I don't know what you should do. I think personally, if somebody says, Eric, your unit's ready, you can move in, but we don't have the gym or the pool or other amenities, I'm thinking, well, call me when you have the pool or the gym and other amenities. Otherwise, why are you telling me to live here or do anything here when we don't have the amenities? In fact, amenities should be the first thing in, quite frankly, because there's no point in trying to move people into a place that has no amenities. But we're going to let Johan Confidante talk about it when he gets here. And by the way, I pronounce it with a little flair. Don't worry. He pronounces it differently than I do, okay? I like the little flair. So, once again, that's a very interesting question because I really don't know. I'm in the camp of if I, like right now, the only thing that I have going on in DR would be Larimar. And if they called up and, well, actually, Larimar has a pool. Larimar's going to have another thing another little uh, beach club. So, I mean, they're going to have some kind of, I guess you call those amenities. I'm not interested in the pool really at any time. Even though there's one that's supposed to be downstairs in the condo. I'm not a pool guy, really. I don't sit by the pool while I'm in an exotic location. Let's just put it that way. So, if I do, it's like 3-4 minutes just so I can say, drink, please. It's not like I hang at the pool. The ocean's right. Well, in this case, not the ocean's not right there, but the ocean is 15 minutes away. So, I mean, but anyhow, the point is, my point of view, straight up, if Larimar called me today, said, Eric, we got delivery, I would say, well, you don't have a pool downstairs. You don't even have the whole building finished. So why would I do delivery on this? And of course they could threaten, they could do whatever. But to me, I'm like, you were supposed to complete all this stuff in first phase. Remember that? That's what the deal was. So why are you trying to make me give you money when I get here and if the first phase is not done? That's part of why the first phase needed to be done, so you have amenities for people that live here. So that was the whole thing. That's my point of view. We'll see what Johan says because I know the developers are going to try and press people like they always have. And I don't think they rightfully should be able to do that. EV Places in the house as well. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he has that icon next to his name, which I humbly appreciate, ladies and gentlemen, because that means he's too a member of the channel. That means he also understands the assignment. Not only did he smash the like button, not only did he show up on the live stream, but he also became a member of the channel and the SSN Nation program from 2 years and 5 months ago. Bank account outside the United States. Check. Real estate or business outside the United States. check. And I don't know about his credit, but I'm assuming it's very good. 775 and over credit score. That's the SSN Nation way. That's what you needed to do. Why? Because you would have 0% interest for 24 months right now. And EV Place, once again, welcome. Thank you so much for being here this evening. And he says, good evening, SSN. I hope you are all doing well, everybody out here. That's right. If you're here, you're doing good, because we got to talk about the bankers down below in the description box. Also in the chat rooms, also on Instagram. And anybody following on Instagram, I see you, so ins. I see you over there. Thank you so much for joining. And I just dropped the link for bankers again. That's right. We got the Instagram crowd. They're here. So show some love, everybody. I know you can't, but show some love. Say what's up. But anyhow, thank you so much. EV Place in the house, showing love, showing support, showing everything. So once again, this goes down. The crypto debit card, it's very simple. USDC, Bitcoin, and USDT. And I'm missing something as well. Ethereum. You can download after you make money with crypto. And you can use it. You can go to the ATM machine. And by the way, does this have my name on it? Doesn't have my name on it. I like that. No name. Like a true black card. Cool. Nobody has a name. There's no way to know. They do have the number. But that's all right, because you still don't know the zip codes. There's 1,000,001 of them, and you still don't know the name. And so therefore it's not trackable. So I guess you're going to have to make a hell of a guess on the zip codes and things to use it. But nonetheless, you can't use it at a bank because your name's not on it. Just, you can use it at the ATM, just so you know. So again, sending people money, family members across borders. There's no borders anymore with this. You guys understand that, right? There's no borders. That means anybody that has one of these anywhere in the world, I can send money to via the Bankis in app. Yes, they do have an app. All right. And I've sent people money. They've sent me money. The charge is zero. Just so you know. All right, hopefully that starts us off with a little bang, because that means it's freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand? This is not in America. This is not in America. You don't have to sign up somewhere, central exchange, regulated, that just means tracking you, and then they mess up, have data breach, does whatever. You know the routine, right? You're outside the United States, outside of the broke country. They can't come get your stuff. Just saying. Let's get into the other factor that I like to talk about. The other factor is I like hiding and not having governments know where your money is. Margaritaville, we close with some of the amenities not totally complete. Exactly. Only one main pool complete, but not the other two pools. In the case of DR Project, amenities are attached to the building. Well, that's a different story as well. Well, let me know, post-retirement trail. What do you think? I mean, do you think you should pay if 90% is complete, but not all the amenities? I mean, like I said, a lot of people move in with, like, let's say there's a pool and nothing else. And they forego all the amenities. A perfect example of how this all went down, there's quite a few, but the biggest one is the beach. They still had to build half of the 20-some buildings, and people moved in. They were the training ground. People woke up when it rained. Water was coming down through their roofs, through the walls. The place wasn't even waterproof. But yet people still said that's okay. It takes a lot. But I don't get it, but a lot of people, they will take a lot. To me, I had pictures I showed you guys. I don't know if I have them right now. I can't pull them up because I didn't have them queued. But the thing is, People had water draining from a floor above in their hallway, coming through vents, the AC vents or whatever vents, down to their floor, going in their units. That was crazy. Then they had people's balconies leaking down below. Holes were, and they did patchwork, well, that I call it patchwork because it wasn't originally built well. There's cracks. So how do you seal cracks after it's built? Patchwork is what I call it. So people endured that, I guess, because they paid for it already. I mean, there's no recourse. All you can do is hope that there's somebody comes and fixes this stuff. And that's the problem with taking stuff early and it's not even tested or anything. So again, unbelievably, hardly anybody got upset. Even though that was going on. That rains, they go down to their car. It's flooded, 2 feet high water in their car. They can't walk because these dumbasses didn't put in some sort of degrees. You have to drain water. You cannot put a. I mean, this is just crazy nonsense, right? But people live there. They couldn't even get to their car. Cars in their water's in their car. But they still lived with it. But again, they bought it. They closed. What can you do after that except complain to the developer? The developer comes out, but it's already happened. It's too late. But he comes out, takes his time. It's another 2-3 months later. Okay, fine. But see, that type of stuff should not be happening when you say I'm taking delivery. And paying, because you generally have to pay 20 to 50% on delivery. So, I mean, that's not fair to me. But we'll see what Johan says July 1st, 2026 at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He's here to ask a question so we can answer that. Margaritaville. Now, Margaritaville is a whole different animal. They're tried, they're true. We know they're building their properties, right? So again, if Margaritaville has a pool and they promise me that they're going to have some other stuff within a year, that particular situation, I would probably take delivery because Margaritaville builds all over the world. They don't have a track record where they left people hanging for a year to 2 years after they had delivery. And then people find out, like in the case of Primavera 2, you find out later those amenities that you were supposed to have that you bought in there to have after you then closed. Guess what happened? They said, oh, we're not going to include the tennis court. Oh, we're not going to include another 2 pools. Oh, we're not going to include. I was like, this is insanity right now. 4 amenities, the people who said we'll take delivery before they finished don't even know, probably till this day, that those amenities aren't coming. Yeah, game room, not coming. Fitness room, not coming. Tennis court, not coming. 2 more pool areas, not coming. That's Primavera 2. And all those people, they finished 3/4 of it and people took delivery. Because why? Because they had 2 pools and a basketball court. So they had no reason to believe that the rest of the amenities would be completed. Except the rest of the amenities weren't completed and they closed and people lived there. So again, this is why I'm not a big fan of accepting we'll get to it or we'll finish. I would rather just, I bought it. I know what amenities are supposed to be there. Call me when all the amenities are in. That's my preference. So anyhow, Margaritaville's a different animal altogether. We're not dealing on some rogue developers out here. Because remember, in DR, most places are rogue developers. I mean, I don't mean to use a derogatory term as rogue. They're developers that are not Margaritaville. That's all I'm saying. They're not, they're not my mind is Hard Rock. They're not Hard Rock. So, I mean, what's next to Hard Rock now is the other place, Moon Palace. They're not Moon Palace. See, we know Hard Rock's going to build theirs. We know Moon Palace is going to build there, right? But I don't know when JSC Enterprises and, well, I won't use somebody else. JSC Enterprises says we're the developers, and yeah, it's trust me, bro. See, that's what happened with Primavera. Trust me, bro. And like I said, just in case you guys don't understand, this is in DR. Primavera, I put down 8,500 apparently. After they were speaking English, before I put down 8,500, soon as I gave them 8,500, I sent them over a message saying, "Hey, what's going on with some other paperwork or something?" And they sent me back something, no Espanol, no English. I was like, "What? What the heck's going on? What do you mean?" So I sent a message to the real estate agent, and I said, "I got a message back talking about they don't speak English. We've been speaking English the whole time." So then they said, "Go through your real estate person." I was like, "Oh, I don't think I need to send them any more money because I think they got me." Now, just so everybody, full disclosure, I got half of it back after I was supposed to get all of it back, but had to negotiate getting that back. But they gave me half, just saying, 45, 43, whatever it was. Okay, better than zero, I guess, but still an L. So that was the first clue, is when they did that. And then as it turned out later, they sent me a message by accident saying they're going to deliver my unit to me. So that's when I went there. And to DR, I just so happened to be there. And I was like, "Oh, let me go up to check it out." So I go upstairs to check it out because I had a penthouse unit. It was supposed to be 2 bedroom, 3 baths unit. I get upstairs where there's supposed to be a full bath and it only has a half. So that's when I'm like, what? I sent them a message because it's email where they send it closed. I sent it back. I said, "I just came back from the unit." I said, "This is supposed to be 2 bedrooms, actually 3.5 baths." And I said, "How come it has a half bath upstairs? It's supposed to be a full bath." And so they said, "Oh, because I had Johan send them, he sent them a message going, 'Okay, what do we need to close this then?'" So then they said, "Oh, no, it's not. We sent it to him by mistake." And I'm like, "By mistake? What do you mean? How do you get we're going to be closing in 30 days or something by mistake?" Get this. On zero plans anywhere, the reason that was a 2 bedroom and a half, 2 bathrooms and a half penthouse unit, and it was smaller. I was looking at the deck, and I was like, "This doesn't seem right. Something's weird." I said, "This deck was supposed to be bigger." I said, literally, it was like 500 or 600 square feet. This ain't 500 or 600 square feet. I said, "This doesn't even make any sense." But nonetheless, okay, it's 400 square feet. Fine. It's still big. I can still do what I needed to do because it covered part of it. It covered around 100 feet. So you could have a nice little lounge area up there. It was perfect, right? But nonetheless, we still didn't have a full bath upstairs. So come to find out, I'm bitching about where I didn't put any, further money down. So now all of a sudden, I get a message saying again, "Oh, it was a mistake that you got it. And second off, that's not the units that we sold you." I go, "What are you talking about? It's Simon Residences. There's no other Simon Residences." They sent me back a message. "Oh, yes, there is. There was a Simon Residences 1. You have Simon Residences 2. I was like, "What? What are you talking about right now? You don't have one rendering for anything called Simon Residences 1. Your master plan, it says Simon Residences 2. There is no Simon Residences 1, which would connotate you did that first before you sold Simon Residences 2. So why isn't it on your master plan for Simon Residences 1 anywhere?" So then I said, Okay, so you're late with what I thought was my unit. Send me this by accident. So that's Simon Residences 1. Where's Simon Residences 2? You know what they said? They said it's right next door. I said, stop it. Stop it. You have. Stop. Now remember, these are two buildings with a pool in the middle, security, in a residential, well, another residential security gate. And I was like, you guys are something else. There was never any picture or talk or renderings, nothing about there was going to be 4 condo buildings in a row with pools, and the other ones apparently were going to be built differently. Come to find out, they were going to make like a U now. And Simon Residence 2 is supposed to be a U instead of just 2 buildings. And that's where the 3 baths were going to be. But see, this is again why I have a problem with we're going to deliver or not and sign early, is because you never know what you're going to get. I don't trust anybody in the DR right now. Again, if somebody says I need my money, I'm like, hey man, you better deliver something. This ain't. I'm not trying to see you by giving you money after I pay in full, and then now I got to come hunt you down. So that's a problem for me. Anyhow, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to give you the grievance, but that's how it works. Businesses in the house. The seamless genius once again has arrived. Another superstar is here. Another investor is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And she brings her tagline this evening. Hey, boss and SSN fam, happy Monday. That's right, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you and the fam as well. Thank you once again for being in the house. Here we go. I don't think it's legal for us to close without the amenities, especially when the intent is to rent your apartment. There you go. Nobody rents without amenities. Some builders will penalize buyers. There you go. See, that's the way I look at it. That's exactly how I look at it. I'm like, this makes 0 sense. And you know what else is wild? At the beach again, people took delivery without a deed. Yes, delivery without a deed. Now, let me explain something to you in DR and everywhere else in the world. If you have deeded property, and first of all, the property itself, remember, first is land. Second off, after they have the land, which has its own parcel number, now you put structures on it. The structures are subdivided if they're condos. Guess what? You can't record the condo until you finish the condo. So if you haven't finished the condo, therefore they tell you to close, you have no title. That means there's going to be an issue with, if you need loans, a problem. So you can move in, but you're not getting title. Just saying. And in DR, that's a major thing because you can't get title in a week in DR. It takes a year, year and a half, depending on what's happening, because they have to have the unit complete before they can actually transfer title. Transferring title means 1 year generally. 9 months if you're lucky. Year and a half or 2 years in worst case scenarios if title isn't clean. So telling people to take their units without the thing being done, that is a problem, and that's what's been happening in DR as a problem. But anyhow, I'll let Johan talk about it because I'm pretty sure he has clients that have called up and said, "What's up? What's going on? I need your help with this. Did you guys hear about the horrible fire at the resorts in the DR?" Yes, it was the Wyndham I heard about. I didn't hear about the second one since you put it plural. It was bad. You know, those thatch roofs were just... You know what's even sadder? No infrastructure. It's a problem. We have I cut off the wires. Technical difficulties. All right. Okay. I might sound weird for a little bit. Okay. We had a If I sound a little different, that's because we have technical difficulties. I just pulled cords out. All right, looks like we're back. Yes, the weird part is I didn't see one hose in the water, and the place is right next to the ocean. Literally. I was like, how is this possible that you didn't have pumps where you could actually I just found this absurd. Hundreds, potentially tens of millions of dollar projects, and they don't have hoses that they can just go dip in the ocean to hose off their stuff. And I saw no fire trucks in sight. That was just bad. That was just bad. Specific things like these aren't in the contract. That's my concern. That's exactly why you should be concerned. I am not saying this is happening to me, but they're asking us to close by September through October, but I don't think all amenities won't be. No, all amenities will not be done. And furthermore, I would have to see a deed. Because again, they have to get a deed for everybody's condo. You can't get a deed for everybody's condo if all the condos aren't finished. That's the first problem. Second problem, now you as an individual are going to sit there and say, hey man, all these amenities aren't done. I don't really care about the pool downstairs. Didn't he say you're going to have a salon? Didn't you say you're going to have a restaurant? Didn't you say you're going to have a fitness room? Where's those at? Because if I have guests here, they're going to want to use those. That would be awesome. So you're expecting me to take delivery when you haven't delivered what we're supposed to have? That's crazy. That's my point of view. This is crazy that they sped up the timeline. There is no way they're going to be done. I mean, I don't know why they're moving up to September. I do know why, because this is what they do. But the fact of the matter is, they said December. So again, I'm with you, post-retirement travel. I'd be bitching. I'd be like, hey man, I'm even if I lived there, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, where's all the amenities at? You told me there's going to be a salon, a fitness center, a restaurant, the pool. We're going to have a snack bar. Is all that operational? And do you have the title to this property? Because this nonsense about me giving you my remaining 30, 40, 50%, and then you're going to tell me, oh, the deed will be here in a year and a half. Again, another beach downtown scenario. People get their deed or title waiting on it for over a year. But that's how long it takes to transfer title. So that's the whole point. They're making you give them the full amount, even though you don't even have title and it's not coming for over a year. But a lot of people don't realize this because you're pressured. They'll be like, well, we'll take it away from you. You lose everything. See, this is why you need attorneys, ladies and gentlemen. Because, again, this is a gray area. Johan Confidante is going to talk about it July 1st, 7:50 p.m. most likely. So don't miss it. This is going to be very special. You're going to need to get updates. Welcome, Mr. Dividend, in the SSN Nation house to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says his tagline this evening. Another investor's here, by the way. Happy day, Eric. I hope all is well with you and your family. Thank you, man. It's going to be a little trying times this weekend, but all's good. Happy day, SSN fam. Smash that like button. Give it a one piece. And share the videos. What's wrong with you guys out here? Nobody else is going to tell you the truth. Okay, I shouldn't say nobody else. You got to get the truth out, ladies and gentlemen. All right? We're talking about Larimar right now. But there's a lot of truths that people don't understand. Had a little barbecue this Father's Day weekend. And oh, by the way, I hope everybody who's a father out there had a very, very nice Father's Day. The thing is, we had the barbecue, and even the 30-year-old kids said something very interesting. They said, when somebody said I was messing with AI, it wasn't me, but somebody else said I was messing with AI, the 30 years old popped up. They said, do you know what data centers do? You know they're messing up the water, the soil. You know there's PFAs. I was like, oh, wait a minute. The 30-year-olds know that data centers are bad for you? Oh my. Oh my. If this starts registering, no wonder there's a certain party that doesn't want anybody to vote. Because 30% of the population is Gen Z that can vote. And the other 30% is the, what did you call them? Baby boomers. That's 60%. That's a wipeout. Well, some baby boomers are still on the weird side. But the point I'm trying to say is you, you have 60% of the population where you're affecting. The baby boomers, you're saying, oh, you thought you had Social Security? We're about to take that. You thought you had Medicare? We're about to take that. You thought you had Medicaid? We're about to take that. Oh, in fact, they already have. But the point is, you thought you had all this stuff when you retired? We might take it. We took some of it already with the big, beautiful bill. We're going to take more. That's 60. That's over 60% of the population that can vote. When the kids start talking about data centers, you got a problem, Houston. If you're a certain, you got a problem. Because if those kids and the baby boomers wake up after you've affected their medical situations, you're affecting their investments, yo-yoing, and they're not making any additional money, and the cost of goods and services are rising, and they're on fixed incomes. I mean, man, I was surprised. I was presently surprised that 30-something, they were talking about data centers out there, saying, hey, you need to stop using AI. What are you doing out here? I was like, oh, dang, I was spouting that I love AI, but they're right, because I am not an advocate of data centers, which is an interesting thing because that's what everything runs on. That's why they need so many data centers, but they're hazardous to your health. Your food supply's tainted, your water's tainted, and then your water's gone. Go ask some people in Arkansas and Ohio and Indiana what happened when their data centers moved in town. Their tap waters are running brown. That's right. This is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen. And America's acting like we're a third world country. Who cares? Live with it. Well, people are starting to care. So that's why you have to rig elections. That's why you have to start doing gerrymandering. That's why you have to start taking information that you shouldn't be. The Federal Reserve, federal government, does not have, they don't run elections. So if the federal government all of a sudden says, I need to see some voter rolls, you don't run, the states run those. That's illegal, by the way. Well, it used to be when the Constitution mattered. Let's just put it that way. Now that it doesn't, game on. Everything's overturned. You will not have a chance to worry about it because they're going to shut your ass down, you 30-somethings and you baby boomers, because you control 60% of the voting block. All right? Now, let's get back to the business at hand, because you got to know where the devils lie. And by the devils lying somewhere, you have to make investments accordingly. So if you know you're about to die, I mean, not die. I shouldn't say that. If you know your medical situation may get worse, which it will. If you don't have medical care, it will. If you don't have money, it will. And a lot of people don't have a lot of money anymore because after 20%, 20%, 10%, 7%, 2.9%, 3.2%, 4.9%, after you start doing this and going rising back up, and all those numbers are fake, you better be able to make some more money because your financial freedom's at stake. So that's why a lot of people have real estate. A lot of people invest in the stock market. A lot of people hedge by having gold and silver. A little bit of gold and silver never hurts. And that's why you should have a duffel bag of cash on the standby. So like when the stock market dips a little bit today, you could have been in the market. But that just brings me up to something else regarding Bankers, the crypto Visa debit card. Because if you knew how to do stock market trading, post-retirement travel, one of these days he might make a video for us. He does the wheel version by options. You might want to check that out. AI is available, which we just talked about data centers, but hey, there ain't nothing we can do about it. That's where all the servers reside, Google and everything. So that's the problem. Wow, no way. People will book with no amenities. Crazy work. Exactly. Oh, you won't believe it. There was no, Okay, first of all, the only amenities at the beach, even right now, I believe, is just their big pool, right? It's huge. It's like a lake. Well, I wouldn't call it a lake, but it's big. It's huge. That's the only amenity they ever had. People moved in with just the pool. I mean, people were renting and moved in with just the pool. The pool is nothing special. Vista Cana has one of them, and they're making a second one. I think the beach is bigger, though. I know the beach is bigger. The first beach is bigger than the first beach at Vista Cana. The second beach at Vista Cana will be bigger than the one at the beach. It's going to be twice as big as the original one at Vista Cana, so that's going to blow it out the water. But the fact of the matter is, they have amenities. They got restaurants there. They have a shopping center there. They just opened a grocery store there. So, I mean, they got walking trails at least. I mean, there's something where people go there and they're like, okay, I can order food. It's coming. Well, they can do that at the beach too. But at least you have something. You have bars. You have restaurants. You have beach clubs. You have little scooter rentals. You have bicycle rentals. You got a kid's playground. You got a pool that's at the man-made beach. You got horseback riding. All that's available right now. So it would make sense, kind of, if one of those properties said, here, we're going to deliver 3, 4, 6 months in advance. We want you to take it. That might make sense a little, but still. A place that's smaller than that, I'm not rocking with you. I'm gonna trust you, bro. I don't talk like that. I'm just using that because I remember, like a couple years back, it was bro. Trust me, bro. I'm like, I'll never trust you, bro. I don't do that. I'm not trusting nobody right now. All right, Biz Nessa, yes, happy Father's Day to all you dads. Exactly. I had a special treat myself. I have 3 daughters. I had 2 of the 3 with me, so that was awesome. So that was a special day. That's rare. Because, Papa was a Rolling Stone, but not like that. I just go where I go. Like right now, Vegas. Right? Sacramento, Vegas, Georgia, Florida, wherever. I'm used to moving, and I don't play music. All right. Let's get back to this banking situation because, again, ladies and gentlemen, you need your financial freedom. And we talked about the wheel option trading that post-retirement travel does. And that allows him to make additional money plus his investments. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about the crypto Visa debit card, but you don't understand the correlation yet, but I'm about to explain it to you. Because if you would have learned or in the process of learning how to do stock market trading and making some money via crypto, then you would download your crypto not to a central exchange, not Coinbase, because the government tracks you. You would send it right to here. Because guess what? This is not a central exchange. This is a crypto Visa debit card. Just like a prepaid card. Not an exchange. That means no regulations for that because they're not an exchange. And they're outside the United States. So therefore, when you send your crypto from your stock trading account, it goes outside the U.S. It's not in their jurisdiction, and nor will the United States of America be able to come in one day and say, give me that. Not going to happen. So, that's why I must talk now about the Candlestick Trading Bible that I've talked about over the last 9 to 10 months. That's right, boy, as time flies. But here we are. The new website still hasn't come out yet. It's sitting over there waiting for me because, once again, I still have not solved the family matters because we have a global empire to create. And the empire got even bigger, ladies and gentlemen, but that's another thing that I'll talk about in a little bit. Because the empire is going to destroy 6 of the 7 magnificent 7. I'm talking big smack right now. This is going to be one for the ages. This will be one for the history books. And so after you get the Candlestick Trading Bible, then you need a demo account for an actual trading account. You can go to TradingView. I have no problem with TradingView. It's one of the best. But I like going to CoinEx Why do I like going to CoinEx? Unlike TradingView and all of their brokers underneath, they're regulated by the United States government. They're tracking every money that you trade, everything you download, everything you upload, everything you send out, everything you're doing. They are tracking you. Now, CoinEx is not a part of the United States, nor can they be on TradingView. Why? Because they're not regulated by the United States. No, no, no. So therefore, when they send my crypto to my designated location, guess what else? The United States can't track it because they don't have my crypto address. They don't have their crypto address. And then I just go to any ATM in the world, anything that accepts Visa cards in the world. I can use this. I just can't go to a withdrawal at the bank because my name ain't on here, which I love. And there's no tracks. Now, I know there's some people watching right now going, come on, man, the United States can find that stuff. Hold up. Hold up. You're giving them way too much credit. Have you seen that display over in Iran where you thought America was all big, bad, and had all this technology and all this, that, and the other? Yeah, it wasn't so simple, was it? Now we're giving them $300 billion, apparently. Reparations must be nice. But black people, you can't get your reparations. I'm sorry for that slavery situation and this destruction and bombings in Philadelphia and Tulsa by the United States government. But you can't get your reparations. But you know Iran can get theirs. Just saying. All right, ladies and gentlemen, now you understand I have no love because the United States is acting just like Russia, just like China, just like a communist country to track their citizens and make sure that their citizens don't have freedom. I am any gatekeepers. Anti-freedom is not my friend. Freedom means we get to come and go as we please. Freedom means I get to make money without interference. Freedom means we're all getting the same even keel shake, except that ain't America and never has been. So, if the playing field is not level, then why should you be playing with the playing field level? You need to do extraordinary things to stay ahead. Because again, some of you haven't had your money stolen by the federal government. Land stolen by the federal government. That's the problem. Because it only happens to a few of us. The bulk of people don't believe it until they see it on social media, where their bank accounts got raided by the executive of the bank. The bank accounts got raided by some teller. Your accountant raided your account, which Floyd Mayweather's going through right now. He trusted some dude that was supposedly a Jewish guy that supposedly had these businesses, and they've been in business and known each other for 10 or 15 years. Next thing you know, lawsuit, $175 to $200 million. Because he thought he bought a building. But apparently, he didn't. But it's in court right now. But see, this is what I'm talking about. Why am I letting these gatekeepers hold anything of mine? That's what they are. Just keep that in mind. Never mind. I won't even get into it. Let's go. Yes, those cards are awesome. I love mine. Oh, Biznessa, thank you so much. Bankus, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, let me give the other one too, just in case this one works. I haven't tried it yet. It used to work. Then I got this other one for free. I didn't pay for it. But use the links, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we got to get your own reparations. Learn the game. This is very, very true. I'm not an advocate. Well, hold on. I shouldn't say I am not one of those staunch people that are like, give me the reparations, give me the reparations. I'm not like that. But I do believe reparations are owed. Let me rephrase. Reparations are owed. The fact that we've never gotten them is status quo. So in other words, you have to kick their ass. That's what the motto is for me. And that's what I've been whipping ass for a long time. That's why they have to attack me. But I'm still here. And we're going to do it again. All right, enough. I get riled up when I start talking like this. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, let me get some other postings going on around the internet. so other people can enjoy some of this Coin X. All right? So insured. Talk about it. I see you on the other platforms. Everybody on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, iHeart, all you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support over all these years. By the way, YouTube's doing their YouTube things. Facebook's doing their Facebook things. You know, it's kind of funny. I log into YouTube. All of a sudden, I see they're reducing the subscribers. I said, these guys are too much. They will not stop. But it does not matter because they know that I don't make money from here. So I don't know what they're even playing games for. These guys are so funny. They're just like, oh, well, he did say he was at 15,700. Let's start moving that back. I'm like, okay, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 5, there's 6. I'm like, what's happening? People don't like my rhetoric? You guys don't like making money? This is the only way the world goes around in America. You ain't over in some other country where it's kumbaya for the neighbors. You're in America. Your ass is getting blasted right now. Hey, by the way, there's some people out there who don't believe health is wealth. All right? And there was some dude talking to me on social media. And I was like, man, I have to use these terms that I don't even use anymore. Some goofy. I was just like, what the frick's wrong with you right now? I was like, you do know 160 countries will not take America's pork, beef, food. 160 countries because of the garbage that would hurt their citizens. I was like, that doesn't ring a bell? That doesn't wake you up? Man, how about 75 to 85 chemicals that are consumed by United States citizens are not allowed in other countries? But American citizens are consuming them, and then everybody goes, I don't know how it's all of a sudden people have cancer and people have all these problems. You think? And then our solution in America is, I'll take away your health. Oh, forget that. You're not going to get health care for all. Let's just stop that. And we're going to take away health care. What the F? You live in a third world country, but you don't know it yet. You know what? Third world countries don't have health insurance either. Just saying. Third world countries have their waters polluted, sewer in the water, PFAs. That's third world countries. Do you know where you live, Americans? You're over here beating your chest like because you read history books and you believe them. But you know half the history books are fake, right? I'm just, education is key. Just saying. All right, let's go. I agree with you 100%. Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know who got reparations? Hey, check this out. I shouldn't. Okay, well, I have to. So check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Slaves. Can't read, can't write. It's outlawed. I'll lynch you if you do. If we find you reading, we're going to kill you and your fam. We'll chop your legs off. We'll chop your feet off. We'll smack you with some leather for the next 30 minutes. For your lashes, like you're the fucking Taliban. You call yourselves civilized who's doing this? You call yourselves Christians? Oh my God. What a travesty. You had one thing to do, Christians. Love everybody. But that's too hard for the demons. Just saying. All right. I digress. I'm a black guy in America under siege for my whole life. Existing as a black guy walking down the street. Woo, woo. I'm just checking on you to make sure you're all right. Excuse me? I was all right till you showed up. I was happy-go-lucky. Now I have to think something might happen. Yeah, I talk to police like that because I'm like, they're nothing but slave catchers. To me. That's why go on about your business. Nothing's happening. What are you checking on? Why don't you go check them dudes over there? They look like white guys to me. That means they're trouble. What are you doing right now? I'm like, this is crazy. You know what? I got to give a story now that I got to go rogue, because me and my friend Will, black guy, driving in a green car. We're at a stoplight. All of a sudden, he goes, "Hey, man, the police are pulling us over." I said, "Nah, man, they must be passing. We're at a stoplight." I was like, I look back, I see the lights, but I'm like, we're at a stoplight. Nothing's happened. Dude pulls us over. The dudes have windows tinted. That's right. Police have windows tinted. Gets out, and it's a brother. Cop. Now I'm really like, what are you doing, man? I'm the passenger, by the way. And of course, my friend's not accustomed to talking with cops. And he's like, license, registration. I'm like, hold up, why? The dude says, "Hey, man, you better tell your passenger to be quiet or I'll have to take him to jail." I'm like, take me to jail? What's wrong with you? He's like, "Let me see license and registration." So Will gives him the license and registration. You know what this fool says? "Get out the car." I'm like, what? For what? You don't even have nothing to write a ticket about. I'm like, oh, I see. Okay. You want to be with them. I see how this works. So this is why I have no love for police, period. Or federal government, or state agencies, because they have been jacking me for life. Being a black guy in America, and one that does damage, that's what you get. Oh, he's one of the smart ones. He's the one that can outsmart us. We better watch him. You ain't gonna outsmart me this time, clowns. Wait till it comes. I'm telling you right now, I'm talking big smack for a reason. I got help. SSN Nation help. In the house. And we do know a little something, something, and we have other help too. They should have never unleashed AI as well. I mean, come on now. Now you're going to be dangerous individuals. Even more dangerous when there was no AI. Can you imagine? Just saying. All right. But anyhow, enough with the reparations, enough with that, because we don't need reparations right now. What we need right now is wealth. 84% of white households have wealth. Sadly, 5% of black households have wealth. 5.5% of Latino households have wealth. That's 90, what is that, 94, 95% of the wealth. Asians have pretty much the rest on the meter. They got more than the Latinos, more than the blacks. But the white households have 84%, but I don't know, maybe it had something to do with Jim Crow from 1920 to 1970, where I couldn't do anything but shoe shine and janitor, and every now and then somebody would break through, you know, like the two black CEOs in all of the Fortune 500 corporations. There used to be 4 and 5, but of course under this regime, you know, they had to oust them. We don't want black people to be shown anywhere. They didn't participate in World War I, World War II, Korean War. No, they weren't around in Vietnam War either. They didn't do nothing. We only did it with one color. That's why we got to remove all their stuff. The latest thing, Chappie James, 4-star general. Tuskegee Airmen, 180 missions in war. They just took down his stuff because we can't have a black guy being a hero now. See what country you live in, ladies and gentlemen? That's why you need this wealth. Because without wealth, you can't fight. Without wealth, you can't have financial freedom. So therefore, we're giving you tools here for 6 years. You can get real estate, no credit check, no qualifying, no barriers to entry. You can go anywhere in the world for pre-construction property. You can get an FHA loan if you have a 580 or higher credit score. Actually, they're down to 500, just so you know. So you can get an FHA loan. It's only 3.5%, otherwise 4% down. You can get yourself, do not get a house. No, no, no. You got to get a duplex, threeplex, or fourplex. Do not get a single family home, FHA. You're wasting it. You need wealth. How do you get wealth? FHA loan, 550 credit score, and you get yourself a duplex. Somebody's going to be paying half of your mortgage, or maybe all of it, the way things cost these days. But that gives you a leg up because now you have passive income, or an ability to have passive income whether you work or not. That is key the younger you are. Business is in the house. She'll tell you, you need your passive income. Post-retirement travels here. You need your passive income. EV places here. Brian P., Mr. Dividends here. All of them. They understand passive income, ladies and gentlemen. Passive income comes in the forms of real estate. That's what you're going to have to do too. You're not going to be able to sit here and specialize. Wealth is built with businesses. Wealth is built with the stock market. Those are the top two things. If somebody has $100 million, guess what they have? Their house is not their asset mostly. Now the house is just, they lease houses. They don't even, a house is nothing. That loses money. They would rather go to equities and businesses. When somebody's worth more money, all of a sudden, it's businesses and equities. Those are the top two things. It's not your car. It's not your house. It's none of that. But when you don't have money or investments, then it turns into people think it's their house. It's only your house until your next property tax bill comes next year. Guess what? It's going to be higher than this year, ladies and gentlemen. I got bad news for you. If you thought last year was 1.6%, wait till next year pops up when the insurance costs more, when people don't make as much money, and now they're going to ask you to subsidize your local cable companies, your local energy companies, and all this. Your property taxes are going to raise up. Your insurance is going to raise up too. So it's not static. There's no way. You can't predict what your insurance or property taxes are going to be next year. But I rest assured they could be $500 to $1,000 more. Each one of them. Are you getting a raise to cover that? Just asking for a friend. That's why you need financial freedom. That's why you need this. You can't be playing out here anymore. Before you could play. You could play. But now your restrictions are coming to you. Some of you are going, Eric, there's no restriction. There isn't when you're an entrepreneur. There isn't when you're an investor. Anybody can invest in the stock market. Anybody can start a business. You can go down and get an LLC, a C Corp, or any other thing. But the point is, nobody's stopping you from doing that. But the thing is, you're taking the risk. You don't get no subsidies. You don't get tax cut, tax breaks. You don't get free land like the rich guys. You have to take a risk, which now means it's harder. You don't have a government loan coming in. You don't have a government contract coming in. Unless, of course, you're one of Trump's buddies and you just started your business 2 weeks ago. And yeah, you can clean up that pool. He can give you a $12 million deal for that. Christy Nome can give their brother-in-law and those guys who started a business for 14 days and give them a $20 million contract. You know, DEI, Jim Crow-esque. Knowing good well they're not qualified, but they're the good old boys. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully this spurs you to understand what the time it is out here. So let's get down to business. We got candlestick trading. Let me make sure everybody out there, down below in the description box if you're watching. Did you get the CoinX? You should have. But I see some places did not get their candlestick trading Bible. So you go there, study, and I don't care what you want to do. You can go to TradingView, and that's very good. And read the Candlestick Trading Bible. You still have time. Because here's the thing, the stock market's not going away. Here's the other thing. There's other stock markets. Australian stock market, the China stock market, the Japanese stock market, the Chinese stock market. I shouldn't have said China, but Chinese stock market. EU stock market. Every country almost that's one of the top 50 or 60 have a stock market. So again, if you know how to trade, you can eat anywhere in the world. Right? By sitting at your computer. I mean, seriously. All right? So that is actually a weapon that you can utilize. Nobody's saying you have to utilize it. It's very hard. So therefore, you should take your time to learn because the stock market's never going away. All right? That's the only way these wealthy people can stay wealthy because all of a sudden you take away their stocks. Well, then they're done. They don't have millions of stocks that have value. So now what? That's the only reason they have so much wealth. It's wrapped in the stock, the paper, the derivative. So you and I have to work a little differently. Well, not really. I mean, you could always start a company in anywhere, and long as it's high enough, a C corp, you could actually offer stock. You could do the same thing. But most people, that's out of their depth. You figure it's only for the rich guys. You are the rich guy. You don't think of yourselves as rich. A lot of you don't. You sit there and go, I'm not that rich. Okay, we're not that rich maybe on paper. Maybe you're not that rich with your bank account. But your knowledge, you can always go get it. Nobody's stopping you. There's free information everywhere. Some misinformation, some free information that's good. The point is, if you want to do something, you know where to go. Start a business. Figure out how you're going to get passive income. Where are you going to get passive income from? That's what you need to start. Go backwards. Don't go forward. Go backwards. Go, okay, I want to do passive income. Well, where do you get passive income from? You get passive income from stock market. You get passive income from real estate, commercial real estate, personal real estate nowadays. So you could start with those two. Passively, if you open a business, that ain't really passive. You might have to work 12 to 15 hours a day for your own business. Because now you're not working for someone else where money's always coming in. But if you're successful, you reap the rewards. Nobody's coming to save you, ladies and gentlemen. In case anybody, you guys know we have this gear, right? Just saying. Now, let's get back to the business at hand, because we got down to the CoinX, we got all that. And then one of my little pet peeves is lately is because of the SSN Nation way, we're trying to get everybody to have 0% interest credit cards for 24 months. The 36-month one should be coming out in 3 months. We'll see if my timing's right, 3 to 4 months. And so therefore we need smart credit help is here. So smart credit is a monitoring system. They'll tell you what your FICO score is. They'll tell you FICO 8 for the cars, which I don't recommend buying cars. They're liabilities. Houses are liabilities. Cars and houses are liabilities, all right? You always get to say, the normal citizens, OC, you can have a car, you can have a home. You list it down. It says on paper it's worth X amount of dollars. Some people say that's worth my wealth, right? Which, by fairness, it is. If you only owe 100 grand and the house is 400 grand, yeah, that's 300 grand that you have there that you can actually tap into, just like the rich guys if they have an apartment building and they borrow against that, just like the rich guys who have stocks and they can borrow against that. The same thing you can do with your house. You can borrow against your house. So on one aspect, even though it's a liability, it does have components that will allow you to actually borrow. But if you borrow, remember you're going to owe a little bit of interest and you got to pay it back. So now what are you borrowing it for? You should be borrowing it to go get another asset that's going to bring in money, so you can get that money to pay them back. That's the only maneuver you should be doing. You should not be buying motorcycles, yachts, and cars, and trains, and planes, and all this other garbage. If it's not going to give you anything back, your financial independence and financial freedom is lost. Because if it becomes a bill, that means you just added more money towards your bills. So therefore, you got to have your smart credit and monitor it. They have a hiring index score, so you know where you'll stand in case somebody wants to pull that out of their ass. Again, this is the point I'm trying to make. You want financial freedom. The crypto debit card is one thing. That gives you financial freedom. Because this right here means I can download my crypto here, and the United States government, nobody else in the world knows where it's going. In fact, they don't even know it's down here unless you're the one sending using a central exchange, such as Coinbase or Robinhood or Webull. All these companies that say they use a synthetic, some of these use synthetic crypto, but nonetheless, you sending from a central exchange regulated by the United States sends it to here. But the point is, once it gets here, they can never do anything afterwards. They can't go in. Unlike Robinhood, just the companies I named, the United States can come in and freeze that anytime they want. They can take whatever they want. Again, we're getting to that point. In fact, we're already there. I'm surprised the government hasn't snatched people's stuff yet. But unfortunately for us, they can print money, so they don't have to snatch anything like they did in the 1930s yet. But the Federal Reserve didn't exist, so that came into play when they promised to give the United States government money in exchange for having this independent Federal Reserve System where they make money because they have a trading desk at the stock market and they can print money. How convenient. Jeez, I wish I could print money. The frick. I don't think any of us would have a problem if we can just say print some money and then say, hey, let me go invest in the stock market. You wouldn't have a problem, would you? Would you? You would have no problem because it's free money. Even if you lose, you win. All right, ladies and gentlemen, enough about this. Let's get down because we still got a little bit more to talk about before I go. I'm not going to be on here too long because the talk is it's never too late. There's a lady. She was either in her 70s or 80s. I got to go pull it back up because I can't remember. But anyhow, let's just say she was in her 70s. She thought it was too late to make investments. So she did something like 20 grand or 40 grand, I can't remember. And she invested in Apple 15 years ago. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. That was, let's call it 2010. Somewhere like that, right? I think it was like actually under that, but let's say 2010. Apple has split their shares how many times? So she bought like $40,000 worth of Apple like 2010, somewhere in there. Guess what happens? Okay. 2014, 7-for-1 split. 2020, 4-for-1 split. That's 11-to-1. Now, check this out. Check this out. How much were shares of Apple in 2010? You won't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. You had an opportunity. Just saying. All right. You're not going to. $6.97 to $11.60 per share. All right? But we'll go with $6.97 because the $11.60 all of a sudden they're talking about before accounting and stock splits. But we're going to go with $6.97 because that's what it was. So she had 40 grand that she invested in Apple. Okay? 40 grand. And I'm going to divide this by 7 just to make it somewhat even for me, but it's not even. That's 5,714 shares. Okay, up pops 2020 when we're in the pandemic. The story comes out about that time a little after, okay? So she had 5,000 shares. 5,714 shares to be exact. So now, in 2014, 7-to-1. So all of a sudden, she has 7 times that number. Now she has, wait, what's that? Why did that? Oh, I did divide by 7. Now she has 40,000 Apple shares. Remember, she's in her 70s. 4 years later, she has 40,000 Apple shares. So let's just say she's 77, 78 now. 6 years later, another 4. So now she has 160,000 shares. Why don't we go look and see in 2020, because the story came out around 2021, 2022. I'll go to 2022. Much was Apple shares? She has 160,000 shares, ladies and gentlemen. And between $182 to $125. Let's just go in the middle. 150 times $150. Ladies and gentlemen, $24 million when the woman's 82, 83 years old. She thought it was too late. Put in 40 grand. $24 million, give or take a mil in either direction. Do you understand? It's never too late. That's why. Do your diligence. Put in the work. You don't have 40 grand, so what? As post-retirement travel has always said. That little cup of coffee, that little thing you ran around and got yourself some burgers and fries and went to go eat out, all of that money you could have been pooling together to go buy you a few shares of stock. Do you see how this works? And by the way, those are called blue chip stocks. Okay, Apple's a blue chip stock, right? Nvidia, the Magnificent Seven, pretty much. Microsoft, Facebook, Instagram, all these guys. Not Instagram, but Meta, Google, Alphabet, which is weird. But all those companies are blue chips, and there's several more. But again, ladies and gentlemen, it's never too late, because the lady was 70-some years old, maybe even 80. But as it turns out, in 10 years, $24 million or more. Like I said, I don't know what I think she was actually in her 80s, but still, nonetheless. Hopefully that gives you an idea. It's never too late. So that's why, no matter your age, you should still be thinking about investing to get that financial freedom. Even if you fall short, you shoot for the stars. All right, let's go. Edmond El Monte, I see you. Welcome again to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says good evening, brings his tagline out. Thank you so much. That's correct. FIFA players imported their own food to the USA. That's right. Because 160 countries that are probably in the Olympics ban United States food. Never mind the other 75, 80 banned substances that we consume that they don't. And then people go, why does America, whenever the other teams from around the world come to play at the Olympics in the United States or sports in the U.S., they don't play as good? If they're eating the United States food, they won't. Because it's poisonous. It causes cancer. It causes tumors. It causes health problems, breathing problems, all kind of problems. So that's no shocker. I heard that they were doing that. That's why my conversation today came about, now that you've mentioned it. And I said, dude, because it was, of course, the guys that rah, shish kumbah, wear a red hat, acting like, man, I don't know what's wrong with those guys. Why are they coming here and being in fever and not eating Americans' food? I'm like, you do know it's tainted, right? Let me give you some information. Let me send it to you. Here's the 160 countries that don't even allow our meat to come in. And then you think you have a problem as a meat cattle person, a person that supplies meat around the world. You're thinking you have a problem marketing it to the world? You're damn right, fool. Because we have chemicals in there. The rest of the world's like, we ain't trying to kill our citizens. Remember, you have a social security number for a reason. You're actually a subsidiary of the United States of America. So any money you make is taxed. So why would you kill your tax base? That's asinine. Think about this. You don't have very bright people working in the government for a certain part of the spectrum. I'll just put it another way. You guys heard the latest thing about the people that live in GOP states? Their life expectancy is like 10 years younger than people in blue states? Do you know child delivery is 3 to 5 times worse in a red state than a blue state? Do you guys understand what this means? You are under siege, and some people are loving it. because they think it doesn't affect them. But the numbers don't lie. We like numbers. We like stats. We like real information. You can't fake it. Just like you can't fake why the people from FIFA, the soccer players, don't want to eat American food. They're not stupid. But some people in America are. Just saying. Boss, you're a rebel. That's exactly the problem. Being like a Black Panther, but not a Black Panther. Exactly. C Corps get you that money to do business. Working on my brand now. See, let's just call it what it is. We got some brilliant people in the house. Seamless Genius is one of them. She understands the assignment. She always has. That's why you're an entrepreneur, successful entrepreneurs. We can't win them all, ladies and gentlemen, but we got to win some of them. So you got to go for it. C Corp is exactly right. And by the way, C Corp is incoming. Oh, I can't believe it. It's going to happen. It's going to be sick. C Corp gets that money. That is true. Oh, by the way, why don't we just tell people C Corps get that money if you have a business. Let's just call it tech. Let's just call it entertainment. Whatever you want to call it that people like to pay money for and have a high evaluations. For the stock, you might want to do Delaware C Corp. Venture capitalists love companies that run Delaware Corps. Why? Because Delaware has boards. Delaware has laws built into their state constitution that another judge from another city, state, country trying to tell them what to do? No, you can't do that in Delaware. And that's why people that do investments and the major corporations generally reside in Delaware. Just saying. C Corp, no matter where it is, gets that money, as she has said. By the way, speaking of get that money, make sure you get your own C Corp, C Corp. Or, okay, I have to be fair, LLC, but that's fair. But make sure your company gets a 401k, please. Please, please. Go see Fidelity. Go see, I don't care who you see, Chase, Fidelity, I don't really care. Get yourself, your company's going to have a 401k. You're going to work for your company. Your company's going to say, we're going to give you match of 3 to 4 to 5%. Because IRS, they're kind of finicky. So you can't do, I'm going to give them 20%. That's a red flag. So you're going to say, we're going to match. So now, you as the employee can put up in your 401k up to 20 some G's. And then your company will match. Let's just call it 5%. That's very nice. Now your company has a 401k too that you're investing in. It's the company 401. But now I can have my own personal 401. Right? I can invest in that too. Oh, but you're married. Oh, then now all of a sudden we can put more money in. Oh, and by the way, when you have a C Corp or an LLC and your wife actually by default is part of the company, she can actually put money in the 401k. I know. It's bad. I know. And you're wondering why certain people get awfully rich. I know. It's crazy, right? Just saying. You know how much money you can park in a 401k that's shielded because it's in a 401k? Oh, a Roth 401k, I should say. Okay? Just making sure you guys understand the assignment. But do you understand by having corporations, you can do that? Which now means you're acting just like the rich guys. You're parking more money in your own corporations, in your own personal accounts, and you're doing business. The best of both worlds. Just saying. All right. Let's see what you guys got to say. I've been rambling. I've been talking. I've been doing the damn thing up in here, post-retirement travel, talking about generational wealth. That lady's close family is set for success. Exactly. Compound interest starting at high speed right out of the gate. God bless America and that 80-year-old woman. Exactly. But here's the thing. She thought it was too late. She said, all I have is $40,000. Well, she had more than that. But she said, all I have is $40,000 to invest. This ain't going to do nothing. And whoever told her to buy Apple was the smartest thing ever. $6, and it might have been whatever, but $6.97 a share, really? Now it's in hindsight. But the fact that it split twice, that was significant. Significant. So that's the thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's why a lot of people suggest you invest in blue chip stocks. I mean, in this age and era, it has to be tech. I mean, tech gets the most evaluations, has the most bounce. They're rated way above what they should be, 20 to 25x of the value, even if they make no money. Like SpaceX right now is worth $1 trillion. Guess how much money they made? Zero. Guess why? No ordinary citizen or corporation is going to be sending up rockets to where? To the moon? No. Satellites? Maybe. But it costs a lot of money to do that. So ordinary companies aren't doing that. So the only way that SpaceX can make money is how? They have to have subsidies, and they're going to have government contracts. That's it. That's it. So it's our money that they're using and giving away to that company to evaluate them at over $1 trillion, apparently. But they make no money. That's wild. Now you understand the power of being in the tech business, in the tech industry, because that means if you have a company and you could make it a C Corp and it's a tech company, the valuation doesn't even make sense. It could be 25 to 1 and you made $5. It could be nothing at all. I mean, we could create a company today and it could be worth $50 million without a customer, as long as it's in tech. As long as it's in the entertainment biz, the valuations are off the chart because why? It's worldwide. It goes out across all borders. It's deployed everywhere. Whoever has the internet, you have access. That's a lot of people. So therefore, there's no borders. So that's why the values are higher, because you're now using software. Like right now, whoever's watching this, you're using software. So they're making money right now as you're watching this, from you watching this, and getting your data, scraping it off your phone. Oh, by the way, I won't even get into this right now. I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on. C Corp with officers, including yourself. Come on now, Biznessa. Come on. Talk to the people. Okay, she's talking about C Corps. What she's talking about is you could own a C Corp, but you don't. Well, you do, but all I'm trying to say is she done unlocked the cheat code, because the board of directors run the C Corp. Because remember, ladies and gentlemen, a corporation is not you. A corporation has to be an entity. So therefore, since it's an entity and there's a lawsuit, they can't come after you because you don't own the corporation. And by the way, while we're talking about this, if you have an LLC, you should have a managed LLC, manager LLC. You're only an authorized personnel. Do not do sole member. Do not do sole member, because by extension, you signing, you are the only member. When the lawsuit comes in, the corporate veil will be pierced. Just saying. Now, back to the C Corp, ladies and gentlemen. The officers. You are an officer. Business is an officer. And post-retirement travel is an officer. That's our board. So now, if anything ever goes down, the board gets a message. Guys, there's a problem. Okay, what? I'm in Delaware. What problem? Well, a judge in California said, I'm sorry. What did you just say right now? We don't listen to judges. Denied his request. Oh, wait. Post-retirement travel, what do you say? Yay or nay? Nay. Business, what do you say? Yay. Two have it. Denied. No, they're not coming anywhere near our stuff. We don't have to. We're in Delaware. Just saying, ladies and gentlemen, I'm giving you some information. I know these guys out here like to keep this stuff secret, but business is here. We in the mix right now. Okay. Oh yes, I have, boss. Exactly. Don't hate the players, learn the game. She's got that right. We're giving you some game right now on behalf of business. She brought it up. I wasn't going to talk about this. It's financial freedom, though. That's for sure. Banks respect corps more than LLC with officers. That is exactly right. She's exactly right. And what jurisdiction you're in matters. So, for instance, if you're in Delaware, that's like number one for C corps, in my opinion. If you're in Wyoming, okay. If you're in New Mexico, okay. But the point is, because of the charging orders, like Wyoming has great charging orders, you don't even have to list a name. I mean, that's cool too. But the point I'm trying to make is, that sets up where investors want to invest because you have a board. You're protected. They want to invest because there's no ownership. And therefore, there's other breakdowns. So you have these safety guards. It's run like a corporation should be that attracts money. And that's why Delaware, for venture capitalists, is when they see a corporation start form, the VCs actually track it because they know people in Delaware are going to have a board. So therefore, that is the structure they want. And that's also the structure that benefits Delaware companies. And so therefore, they know even under lawsuit situations, the corporation goes nowhere. That's what they know. So they are happy to invest in Delaware corporations. As soon as you come on the radar, they're just like, hey, what you doing over there? We might have some money for you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it's good to take money, but if you do take money, just remember one thing. You are no longer 100% in control. Somebody's going to be knocking on your door because you took their money. Just saying, even though you still say you own it, that's fine. But you do have to respond to people after they gave you, let's just say, $50 million. You seriously don't think you're not going to be like, F you, right? You're probably going to have to answer some phone calls occasionally. Because remember, we're talking about stocks most of the time. That means they bought some shares of the company, because that's what you do in Delaware, for instance. And so that means they could just wake up and be like, privately, we'll just off our shares. Unless, of course, you restricted them. But the fact of the matter is that's what they could do. So now you're going to have that's not looked good upon, right? You have investors who want to bail before you achieve maximum explosion. That's like a warning sign. Oh, something must be wrong. See, so that's another reason why you want to lock everything down and set in places in the country where you have a C Corp that people that want to give you money operate in. Just saying. And even if you're in California, C Corp, you'll still get money. My friends that had the jewelry stores and stuff, I just couldn't believe it. They had it under a C Corp, and it was like people were just throwing money at them. I was like, what the hell? You don't even make money like this. But that's the beauty of it. There's some shares. Okay? Just saying. There we go. Yes, your corporate kit allows you to sell shares. Exactly. And that's why if you're in Delaware, Wyoming, even New Mexico, even anywhere in the C Corp, there's certain jurisdictions that's favored over others. But when let me see something. How many of the Magnificent Seven? I'm going to find out. Those are the top dogs. You know they're talking about a fabulous 10 or something like this. That's crazy. I'm putting this in right now. Let's go look. Because that's the ideal scenario. I want to find out how many of the Magnificent. Oh, yeah. As I suspected, all seven of the Magnificent Seven corporations, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Tesla, are legally incorporated in Delaware. Oh, I'm shocked. And oh, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, 60% of all Fortune 500 companies are incorporated in Delaware. Over half of all U.S. publicly traded companies are incorporated in Delaware. You're getting the assignment yet. You don't think they're going there for any particular reason, do you? It's just coincidence, do you? You can't be that naive. Did you not understand? 60% of all Fortune 500 companies, that's 300 of them, are in Delaware. And all the Magnificent Seven are. That should tell you where you need to be. Just saying. All right? Now, we got ahead of the game. We got into talking more about what we love. Making you win, ladies and gentlemen. It does, you know what? A lot of people, I know there's people watching. I know you're scared. I know you get a little scared when you start thinking outside of what you feel your capabilities are. Just remember one thing. When you go down and swipe a card, just remember you're used to the card. Remember the first time that you logged on to the internet and people said in the 80s and early 90s the internet would never work. Meanwhile, there was other people busy making PayPal, making anything that they could sell, Amazon, anything they can sell on the internet. They were already doing it. I was doing it. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, late 80s, early 90s, streaming was already out. You just had to be on the tier 1 lines, the T1 line. You had to be close to it. That's the fastest line at the moment. At that time, it was fiber. But everybody else, you running off of telephone lines, running off of modems. We were already streaming pornography. Just so you understand. What you hear is, what you see now is OnlyFans, as the latest iteration of where girls are in a room and they're doing whatever they want to do. We were doing that in the late 80s, early 90s. Streaming, when people said it wasn't possible. People had memberships, just like you have memberships for Netflix. They had memberships. They paid. And because it was by phone, it was diabolical. The phone was being charged $5, $10, $15 per minute while they're talking to some girl that's scantily clad, that just came from one of those strip joints up the street in Las Vegas after they're dancing. When they come in, they're tapping on a keyboard half naked, even though they were fully naked, half naked, making hundreds of dollars per hour. Because you have fiends, just like the Epstein files, except not like that, because no little girls allowed. But it's fiends like that. Thousands, millions. Yes. Nothing has changed. The same thing while OnlyFans came up is because of that back then, except now our high-speed internet is even faster. But we still had high speed. We still had streaming. Oh yeah, still had voice, just like I'm doing now. This ain't nothing new. It's just that everybody wasn't involved because, of course, who would be? Internet wasn't that fast, allegedly. But we were streaming. The girls were streaming. And if I'm going to tell you a story right now, I've told this before. There was, in the warehouse in Vegas, there was 20 rooms, 10 bedrooms, stages. They're open-ended. So just like you see the closet behind me, behind them you would see a bed and some picture on the wall behind them, and it looks like a bedroom. but it's actually a stage and it's open. 20 rooms in the warehouse. Warehouse, mind you. That was simply a bedroom. They had a keyboard like I do, and they had a mic, and scantily clad. Now, you want to go down the path of what happens VIP? Well, okay, well, you want to pay like $100 every 5 minutes or something? I mean, that's what we're talking about. And it's billed to the phone, so now people's phones would be out of business if you didn't pay. And back then, the phone company didn't play. You didn't pay us a bill, you ain't getting another phone. So people took that seriously. So, anyhow, that's what was going on. The same mirage you have now in different iterations was happening. It was a bedroom, 20 rooms, and the girls were there for like a couple of hours, and they were making like $1,000 or more, because it all depend on other things. There was merch. Some of their scantily clad stuff people would buy, right? Oh, they wore it today. Gotta buy it. $150. Dudes are paying. Just crazy nonsensical stuff. It was like a psychological thing for me. I wasn't enjoying it really. I just said, there's no way dudes would pay this. I said, I gotta try. Because the guy hooked me into it. He says it's only X amount of dollars. Let's just say it was like $400. Because that's what it seems like. It was, I can't even remember the amount because it was so small. I said, okay, man, I got to go check this out. Give me one of them damn things. He's like, oh, we're going to build your website. No, you're not. I'm building my website. I'm going to buy the content, and the girl or two, I had like two girls, because you can have four, you can pick. So it went two at first, then it went six. So when guys come into the membership, they had 6 different beautiful women, and they could pick who they want to talk to, who they want to rap with, whatever. Oh, and there's a phone-in thing too, and there's internet talking. It was crazy, right? All that's going late 80s, early 90s, where people thought that didn't exist, right? So these women are literally making thousands of dollars in a 2-hour time frame. Remember, they get part of the membership. They get per minute rates for each individual. So if there's 30 dudes on there and it's costing $10 per minute, you can start doing the math. 300, is that 30 times 10? $3,000 per minute. I'm sorry, I was understating the money. But okay, you understand now? So you don't think they're sitting there 2 hours after they went over there dancing, sitting there playing around with these guys, chit-chatting, having fun, come to the VIP where it's $100 a minute. Only one guy can do that, but nonetheless, you're talking grands per minute, ladies and gentlemen, in the late 80s, early 90s, along with the 900 numbers, where people would call in and pay $1.95 per minute to talk to a so-called beautiful woman that was not beautiful, nor a woman sometimes. That's right. That's right. Guys were sounding like women doing it. I was blown away that this was a thing. Oh yeah, I enjoyed every minute of it. The experiment actually worked. I was like, are you kidding me? I'm getting checks. I'm getting checks all over the damn place. It was like raining. I was like, what the I was just like, because remember, we got like 5, 6 girls. Each girl has a different check number coming. You get money from each one. For what they did, I get a percentage, they get a percentage. So, and I have memberships. So all of that's going down. Checks coming from memberships. Checks coming from Exhibit A. Woman B, Woman C. Check comes in the mail. Checks, not wire money. Checks. So I just go to my mailbox and there'd be 10 checks. One check might say 500. Another check might say 1,500. Another check might say 1,000. Another check might say 3,000. And here's the other funny part. Just like any passive income, after I built the website, I didn't have to do a damn thing. Guys show up. All right? Just remember that. I didn't do anything at that point other than update some things every now and then. But other than that, I'm not even, it's running on autopilot. Similar to what you guys are doing today. I'm going to wrap this up, an hour and 50 minutes. Unfortunately for you guys, the C Corp is a way to go. That's a little bit stressful for a lot of people. Don't let it stress you out. It's nothing but procedure. You can do it yourself. In fact, you have so much information out here right now. You can do it yourself. If you want to risk it. I shouldn't say it's risk. But again, if you're not familiar with LLCs, C Corps, and things like that, you might need some help with it. So you should seek help with it. But it's nothing to be scared about. It's just a business. Just say it's an LLC, except it has different layers. But it still runs like a business. It's a business. There's nothing special. You just call it a C Corp, and then you have a board, and then you protect yourself even further because you're in a state like Delaware that protects your business instead of other states that don't. They'll rather let a business go bye-bye. So that's one of the reasons we talked about how many people stay in Delaware as far as corporations go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap it up. I usually leave this for Friday night, but unfortunately I might not be here Wednesday night because my flight is going to land, and it's going to land around 6, so I won't be on the live stream, obviously, unless I'm delayed or something happens, and it happens to be 5:50 p.m., but it's not likely. All right, so I'll see you guys. I don't even know if I'm going to see you on Friday. Probably will as a release because we're going to be burying my aunt in the morning at 10:30. So I probably will need the release later on that day. So hopefully I will see you at 6:10 p.m. on Friday. All right? And don't forget, Johan Confidante will be here July 1st, 2026 at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. To answer questions, ask Johan live. You can ask him anything. He has his pulse because he has clients in the DR that comes to him and tells him that sign, go check out this business, go check out that business. I want you to check out everything. He has the pulse of the nation. The preeminent lawyer in all of DR, and he's my attorney too, full disclosure. But once again, you need attorneys. You need accountants that you can trust. And with all that said, I love you guys very much. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and it's going to get harder. I tried to tell you before. 4.2, 4.7% last month. 3.7, 3.9% the previous month, and those are fake numbers. This month, June, I don't know what the numbers came out, or was it 4.2 this month and 4.7 last month? I can't even, it does not matter. The numbers are lies. They're probably like 12% or 14%. It's not really that. It's always double digits. They just lie. So the point is, I know it's getting harder out here, but please try to stay focused. You're going to have to get on with protecting yourself and your loved ones. Sending my condolences to you, boss, and your fam. Thank you so much. So, again, just protect yourself out here because you never know what somebody's doing or trying to do. Especially, again, we had another friend of ours who their parents did not handle they didn't get a trust. They left it up to the will of the kids, the executors, and the executors. One of them wanted to do the sales. The others didn't, as mom's wishes, and they went into a 2-year battle with probate. And it seemingly every 3 months, the judge would have the attorneys come in, whether it was on the phone, on Zoom, or whether it's not. Every time your attorney has to see a judge, they charge you money. So now it's like, oh, well, we'll postpone this for 3 months, but everybody's on the call. $3,000 to $5,000 every frickin' 3 to 4 months is not a thing to be wishing up on anybody for 2 years. Mediation, who's going to pay for that? Oh, that's right, you guys, money you have to pay, each of you have to pay, whatever. Again, it's just nonsensical. Rolling over for no apparent reasons. So the court gets paid too. Just remember that. So again, this is why we have to talk about this. This is how you save your family, by having irrevocable trust. Save your family by having beneficiaries, like insurance policies if you have them. And they already assigned the beneficiary. Your bank accounts, it already signs to the beneficiary. Everything, if you have properties together, joint tenants with right of survivorship, if that's what you need to do, at least if one of you pass, it just automatically goes to somebody else, so you don't have to go through probate. That takes, right now in another probate, 2 years. It's 1.5 years right now for when my brother passed away. All right? It's ridiculous. It's going to take 2 years. It took 2 years and a few months for my mom's, because she thought a will was the way to go, which is what they tell you to do. They know what a will does. That puts it in probate automatically, which now means you got to pay an attorney straight up 5 G's just to talk and say, I got probate. After that, it could cost more. And it will cost more if there's contingencies. If there's contingencies such as, are we going to have to force somebody to do something? Is there anybody else in the family that could lay claim to this? And sure enough, somebody else pops up. Now you got to fight their share. No, I've never met you. Don't know who you are. Oh, we took a DNA test. We're related. They're my mom or dad that you don't know about. Now you got to split it. By rights, it's what it is. But that means probate for all of you. Each of you are going to have an attorney to protect your own interests. So, just keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, while you're out here playing around. Because wealth is one thing. Keeping it is another. Just remember, whether you're alive or dead, keeping it is another. There's people out here trying to take your lunch. There's people out here trying to steal it from you as well. So therefore, you have to be diligent about your money. So with all that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up. I'll see you on Friday night, more than likely, not Wednesday, unless it's the late night edition. But that might happen too, because I'm going to need some release, but family members are going to be in the house. So I probably won't do that. So anyhow, I'll see you guys on Friday night, more than likely. I should need a release, so you'll see me for sure. I don't do too well when I have a little sorrow, more than sorrow, because my aunt, you know what? She worked for Lockheed. You know those Hidden Figures movie? Lockheed recruited her because she was one of those scientific computer people. You know that Lockheed structure from 1960s until in their heyday, up until around 1980s, she was like VP, a superstar. They went down to FAMU, Florida A&M University, to get her. Oh, she was #1 in class. And another top 5 student. They recruited them into Lockheed in San Jose, California. Oh yeah, I'm not going to give you her name. She's a historical figure. You can Google her. That's why I'm not going to give you her name. And you will see what they say, and I'll talk about it on Friday night, more than likely. I'll Google it myself and give it to you. All right? That's right. She's a badass woman that put in work and gave her soul and heart and shared everything with everybody. Anybody on the street that ever needed something, she stopped and talked to them. What do you need? Studied the word of the Lord. I couldn't believe it when I'm at the house, and all of a sudden I see a bookcase and I see one thing, and I'm like, the Unger Bible or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? Then I realized she has a theology degree as well. The whole frickin' den has religious texts and books in there, and not just from America, all over the world. All different religions and everything. I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know. She never said nothing. Then I found some degree thing from theology, and I was like, what the? She's already a superstar. She got this too? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. She was special. She was one of God's angels. So once again, I'm out. And with all that, just make sure Don't let anybody keep you down. Don't do it. Always keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.